Every time I go to film at night, sometimes I wonder what my cat thinks. Because he'll just be staring at me. Like I'm absolutely crazy. I'm sorry. I'm weird. He probably thinks I'm psychotic, let's be honest. This is I think the 5th or 6th night in a row where I'm filming something at night on my phone. I just really want to know what your brain is thinking. Do you want to come here? He's purring loudly like he wishes to be loved, but I guess he doesn't want to be loved that much. Anyways, we're not here to talk about my cat. We're here to read Asimov. A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas. Oh, stop it. Oh, stop it. No, stay there. No, do it again. Do it again. Do it again. You were so cute. He was laying on his back. Belly up. Oh, there he goes. There he goes. Look at that. I love him. Okay, I'm sorry. This truly is not a cat appreciation video. Let's talk about Asimov. A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas, the second book in the ACOTAR series, A Court of Thorns and Roses. Before we get any farther into this video, I do want to let everybody know this is not spoiler-free. This is one of those series that I am reading and talking about spoilers 100% and divulging all of my thoughts because so many people have read this. Clearly I haven't, but so many people have, and I love to just yap. And sometimes it's really hard to yap about things that I'm trying not to spoil for other people because I love not spoiling books because I don't like them getting spoiled, just like other people don't like movies or shows getting spoiled, which I also don't appreciate, but I'm not trying to be on the bad hype train. So final warning, I will be speaking about everything that my brain decides it wants to talk about. Okay, cool. Speaking of which, I had to go back and rewatch my own reading vlog when I read A Court of Thorns and Roses almost 2 years ago at this point, because I could not remember if I remembered everything that happened at the end of that book, which I remembered almost everything important. I forgot that Feyre gets freaking magic, and now I'm mad all over again. I literally sat there and watched my entire 40-minute reading vlog, and I felt all of the emotions for A Court of Thorns and Roses again, and then I remembered why I haven't picked up Asimov yet. However, there's a little tingle in my brain that says you need to pick up this 627-page novel and read it right now. And I go back to work tomorrow, 9 o'clock in the morning. It is already 11 p.m. at night, but I truly need to pick this up. And I don't know what happens in here. I don't know what's gonna happen. What's gonna happen? But I'm scared and intimidated and am now remembering how tiny this font is. Oh my brother. Someone needs to sedate me. Okay, I'm gonna go start reading Asimov. I don't have any beginning thoughts because my brain's kind of empty other than remembering how I felt about 5 chapters is that long? Sorry, remembering how I felt about the end of ACOTAR, but the first 5 chapters are 56 pages. I don't know if I'll read that much. Good gravy. I'm highly intimidated. This is the biggest book I think I've ever picked up in my life. Okay. Let's go. Yeah. Okay, things may look exactly the same because it's at night and I think I'm in the same t-shirt as yesterday for sleeping and I have the same book, but I did read some of the book and I've only read four chapters and I already have a lot of thoughts. Number one, totally forgot the whole she comes back to life but is supposed to live with Rhysand for a week out of every month thing. I think that's what it is, like a week out of a month. I don't know, but because freaking Rhysand was the one who saved her, she has to spend a week out of every month with him, I believe. And my god, now that I remembered that, it makes me hate Tamlin even more. Because he's being such a little wah-wah baby and not letting my girl Feyre go out to villagers, which sounds so dumb and a little thing, but why? And I get that it's because they don't actually want her help, because Lucian? The L-man with red hair. What's his name? Lucian? I think it's Lucian. Lucian took her to one of the villages and nobody wanted her help. I get that. And I get that Under the Mountain was shit and everything. But, she saved them. Maybe they should be a little bit more open. I also understand not wanting to ask help from her because now she's apparently marrying Tamlin. Literally read the part where she doesn't walk down the aisle to him, by the way. That's crazy. And guess who shows up? Mr. Rhysand saying, "Hello, Feyre, darling." I am very clearly Team Rhysand. Tamlin's a little bitch. Tamlin Tamlin makes me upset with my existence, and I feel like there's no other better way for me to describe that other than sorry, he's a little bitch. He is just not it. Like, he's fine, but I don't want a guy who's fine for my main male character, especially in this type of a book. And especially in this long of a book, I want some moral gray man who's gonna go stabby stabby, which I feel like Rhysand would do for her, and probably will. But I am still a little bit confused on this like high priestess situation, but I think I'm getting it now. And honestly, I'm enjoying being back in this world a lot more than I thought I would. Like a lot more. I am also once again praising Sarah J. Maas for her pacing. I know that that was a really big thing that I talked about in book 1, was how beautiful it's paced, how beautifully it's paced, and my god, oh, I'm loving it. I am quite literally only 42 pages into the book and we're already to the wedding part. I thought the wedding was going to take like 200 pages and we would just be like, wedding, 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 wedding. Oh, it's the wedding and something's going to happen at the wedding. Because of course something's going to happen at the wedding, but like I thought it would take forever and it took 42 pages and I'm so happy it only took 42 pages. I hope we keep that fantastic pacing through the rest of the book because if we don't, I don't want to know what will happen. But I'm actually really enjoying this. I also realized that this book is split into parts, and the first part is only like 120 pages. And I'm wondering if maybe we finish part 1 tonight. Is that crazy? That's kind of crazy. That's like 2.5, 3 hours of reading. What time is it? And it's 10 o'clock. So that's like 1 in the morning. Maybe. Maybe. I probably shouldn't do that because I have to get up for work tomorrow at 8. And I need sleep. So hopefully I don't do that. But with how my brain is loving this, it might happen. But I am going to read for at least a little bit more in A Court of Mist and Fury. So let's go have a little bit of a reading session and see what's going to happen now that Rhysand has crashed the wedding. Okay, so I talked to Aslan about sharing the camera. I don't know how well that's gonna work. Excuse me. But I just finished chapter 7 of A Court of Mist and Fury. Dude, chapter 8 is next. So I've gone through Rhysand taking Feyre to the Night Court, her time at the Night Court for the first time, and then her coming back, and Tamlin being a little bitch again. Number 1, in regards to the wedding, so glad that Rhysand pulled her out and they're not married because I truly feel like everything that Rhysand said reigns true. Like she was getting stuck, and I think that she knew that. Cannot believe all of the freaking drops that we got from our friend Mr. Rhysand about Miss Feyre. First off, the fact that she could have magical powers from 8 different kingdoms is kind of crazy to me. Can you not? Also, I do need to take back my previous statement of saying that Rhysand saved her. Everyone saved her, not just Rhysand. But I still feel like his sacrifice was the biggest one. I also love, with a capital L, that he is teaching her how to read. He is teaching her how to read and he is teaching her how to use shields. And my god, do I love that man for it. Not even just for like the, war aspect of it, but also, I don't know, him being a genuine nice human to her, or immoral fae, whatever the heck. I am just so glad that she is being treated with some form of respect because, wow. Like, I know I don't like Tamlin, and I know I don't like his actions, but I did not realize until Rhysand actually put it into words, like, what he and that Ithbane person was devoting her life to. That high fae girl who's planning her wedding. Whatever her name is. Rhysand, Tamlin, Ethane. Ianthe. Ethane. But now that he said it, she does give me creepy vibes. She gives me weird vibes. So, end of the day, Rhysand is right. Tamlin is wrong. Thank God my girl ain't married. And I do feel the need to finish part 1 before I go to bed. If anything happens that makes me actually lose my mind, I will come back and talk to y'all again tonight. But if not, I think we might just talk when I get home from work tomorrow so I can dive right back into the book world because truly that's what I want to do. Which is so weird because this is a 627-page novel and it intimidated the crap out of me. And then the second I opened it and read more than 2 chapters, I'm hooked. I'm hooked, which is crazy because I did not like the first book this much. I truly did not. Like, I definitely had that pull factor of wanting to find out what was happening, but this is on a different level. 80 88 pages in an hour and a half, and I'm gonna sit down and read more tonight. And I don't even care that it's 627 pages. The only reason that I care is because it's really hard to hold, which sounds so dumb, but you try holding this thing open when the spine is like this, reading without cracking the spine. Then come to me and tell me I'm being dramatic. No, but I am like seriously so excited, so I'm gonna keep reading just another like 40 or 50 pages before I go to bed. I feel like that's doable. That's totally doable. I can do that. Anyways, that is what I'm feeling about A Court of Mist and Fury as of chapter 7. We're not even in the double digits yet. Hello everybody and good following morning-ish. I'm actually a complete liar. I think it's like, yeah, it's 4 p.m. in the afternoon, but A Court of Mist and Fury is back, though I never really left. I did in fact finish part 1 last night, and not only did I finish part 1, but I read chapter 14, which is the first chapter of part 2 as well, because it ended on a cliffhanger-ish, and I needed to know, so I just read one more chapter, but nonetheless, I did make progress in A Court of Mist and Fury. I am so enamored by this to the point that all I've been thinking about today is sitting down and reading it, which I'm still not able to do because I have a couple of other like filming things I need to do. But I want to go back into this world in this book with these characters, and I'm just incredibly excited to do so. But as far as plot wise what happened, I cannot believe that Tamlin locked her in the tower or in the house, whatever. Either way, he still locked her away, and I cannot believe he did that. And I don't care if it was for protecting her. That was bullshit. Absolute freaking bullshit. But I absolutely love that Rhysand got her. Absolutely loved it. And that he did buy the book. Phenomenal. I truly feel like he's the only one who's even remotely seeing her right now. And by that I mean like what she's going through. Tamlin is being a little bitch, and so is Lucian. Although I've never really formed one coherent thought on him because I thought he was just a side character, which he is, but I feel like he's leaning more main character than side character right now. Either way, I hate the Spring Court. I hate the rulers of the Spring Court, and I am so happy that she's with Rhysand. I also love that in the one chapter of part 2 that I read, which was what, 5 pages? Let's see. Literally 5 pages. He's got like his own little family in Starlight or wherever they are. The Star Court. I love seeing him as not big bad evil man. Not that he's ever been big bad evil man, but he's been portrayed as it, you know? I am just loving every single aspect of this, and I want to go sit down and read more. Unfortunately, like I said, I have to finish a couple of filming things first before I pick this up again, but I had to talk about it because I've been thinking about it all day. So I'm just overjoyed to be picking this up probably in like an hour or two when I can. I'm ready to dive back into the Court of Mist and Fury and see where we go and where our characters take us. Alrighty, it's been another day. It's the next evening, and we are still reading ACOTAR, but I'm so excited to talk about it and give you updates. So let's talk a little bit, shall we? I read about 60 pages last night. I started on chapter 15 and read to chapter 19, which is page 204. So from 140 to 204, so like 60-ish pages. And it's getting to the point in the book where I'm reading so much that I can't remember what we've already talked about and what is new in the plot. So if I go over anything twice, I apologize, but the thing we just went through is that bone dude. I was about to call him the bone carver, but couldn't remember if that was true, and it is the bone carver. I am also here for the fact that Rhysand walked her through getting up that mountain prison thing and into it. Oh god, I was there for it. Same with cool, powerful non-wizard who's the second to Rhysand giving Feyre this pearl amulet necklace thing. I don't think it was a pearl. What was it? An oyster? Why am I thinking it's sea related? I don't think it's sea emerald? Something like that. She gave her a necklace, and I either A, believe that necklace is super almighty powerful, or B, think it's just a random piece of jewelry. Which one? I don't know. I'm kind of 50-50 toss on that. But for that girl to just say to Feyre, don't worry, I wore it and I got out of the prison. You're an all magical, powerful non-wizard. I don't really think that you need a necklace to get out of a prison. That character very much reminds me of Calypso from Pirates of the Caribbean, how she worked with Jack And oh my gosh, I'm making Pirates of the Caribbean references. I rarely talk about this, but I am a huge Pirates of the Caribbean fan, and it's linking in my head so well. Cause Calypso gives not Jack Skellington, oh my god. Cause Calypso gives Jack Skellington this jar of dirt, and then in the next movie, I think they all blur together, but in the next movie, I think she works with not Davy Jones, but the other guy, who also wants the Black Pearl. What the heck is his name? Whatever the heck his name is, she works with him. No, it is her and David Jones are in the. It's this whole thing, okay? Pirates of the Caribbean has a lot of lore, and I haven't seen the movies in a while. Anyway, she ends up on the ship, and then a curse ends up breaking or something. I'm like, and Davy Jones, not Davy Jones, the non-Davy Jones other captain guy is like, I release you, Calypso, and Calypso because it becomes this huge thing, and this what causes the whatever these are called in the water, a twister? No, like one of those things that slurp people in. What are those called? She causes that, and it essentially lets them win against Davy Jones, from my understanding. Except that girl who's in love with that guy ends up becoming a new Davy Jones, essentially. Anyway, a lot of Pirates of the Caribbean lore that is not related to this at all. But I'm explaining that way because Mrs. Calypso just does whatever she wants that will benefit her and breaking her curse so that she can go back to being this giant mythical being or whatever. And the non-Athbane person is giving me the same vibes. Where the fuck is Athbane from? Athbane? Athbane. Is that where we live? What's Athbane? Okay, Athbane or Athbane? Athbane? Whatever. That's definitely from a book. I don't know if it's from this one. That was weird. The Court of Athbane. What is that from? Homegirl's name isn't Athbane. It's another A name. And there's two A names of people who are like Rhysand's close friends, and I'm not vibing with that. I wish that we got one more letter in there so everybody was different in my head. Amren. Her name's Amren. Amren. Amren? That's what I'm going with. And then there's Azriel, or whatever the other guy's name is. Isn't there a book called The Book of Azriel? My god. There are so many connections happening in my brain and also nothing happening in my brain at the same time. I don't know how I'm existing at the moment. Anyways, Bone Carver freaked me out, but in like a way I respected. Because what do you mean you're a shapeshifter, non-shapeshifter? Like that's really weird. He is literally sitting right where my line of sight was to my camera. My phone. Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Would you like to say something to the people? He tried to bite the microphone. I really don't know what I was expecting. Anywho, Bone Carver freaked me out, and I appreciated it, honestly, because I feel like we've kind of been low-key, but now that we have a mission from the Bone Carver to go find, I believe it's like 2 or 3 powerful pieces from different places, or a book, that book of whatever, which is supposed to help them defeat the bad dude from the faraway land to, like, make them win, right? Okay. Which I'm not even talking in such a way to avoid spoilers, because I already have 100% said I'm not clearly making anything a mystery here, but that is just genuinely how my brain remembers things, because names don't make sense to me, especially in fantasy books, and I think it has a lot to do with my dyslexia. Like Mr. Rhysand, in my brain, he's just an R, but I know how to say Rhysand because of TikTok. Same with Feyre. There's only a couple of times that I actually have to read her name, but every time I'm like, Faye. It's just Faye. Fairy. That's it. That's all it is in my head. And I really think it's because I'm dyslexic. Which is why I'm having a hard time with the 2 A names of Rhysand's people. And Mara, whatever her name is, I appreciate her because she's like 3 letters. Anyways, you don't really need to know why this is more difficult with me for not having diagnosed dyslexia. But that being said, normally in fantasy books that have like this really high political like storyline pull to it, I struggle because of all the different names. However, I'm not really struggling to grasp what is happening in here, and I really appreciate that. I do think it's partly because we're using words like spring court, summer court, night court, star court, not the mall from Stranger Things, the court in the book. Like, I appreciate that, and I also appreciate that we are describing Valeris as the city of starlight multiple times, so my brain knows what it is. Okay, I really love that because now I don't have to draw out like a map that I can flip to that's easy for my dyslexia. Not diagnosed with dyslexia, by the way, but I'm like very sure that I have it. Anyways, and I do know there's a map at the beginning of the book, but who the heck is gonna flip to that every 2 pages? Not me. Okay, not me. I just struggle through it most of the time. Anyway, I bring that up because this being a 627-page fantasy novel, I was expecting me to struggle a lot more. For my recollection, this is the biggest fantasy novel I have ever read in my entire life. I did read Fairy Tale by Stephen King about 1.5 to 2 years ago. That one, I believe, is 950 pages. I'm going to put it over here because I can't remember right now. But I read that as an audiobook, and I did not have it sped up that much. So I comprehended everything absolutely beautifully because there was somebody narrating to me what was being said. Also, so where I could be listening to an audiobook with this as I'm reading, or just be listening to the audiobook, but I don't want to. I actually want to physically read it. Anyways, I explained all of that to say I understand the plot. I know what's happening. I like that we have a goal. I am still 100% loving the pacing of this book and appreciating it and appreciating the repetition of names and people and where they come from and their connections and how it all works. I'm so happy we're getting that because it's helping, I think, which I hope carries over into other series by Sarah J. Maas, like the Assassin's Blade is the first book, the Throne of Glass series, because that's the one that plot wise sounds most interesting to me, just based off of the blurb of the back blurb of the first book. I mentioned this in the video where I read ACOTAR, the first book, but I didn't know how good I was with world building, so when people were recommending Sarah J. Maas series to people, they're like, if you don't know world building, start with this series, and I'm like, I'll start with it. But I think right now it's good that I'm here because I haven't read really in 9 months, let alone high fantasy. So all that to say, I'm very happy to be here. I cannot believe I'm already 200 pages into this book. It's kind of insane to me. I'm also not feeling super overwhelmed by it, and I'm not at the point in the book yet where I want to be done with it. I just genuinely enjoying just being in this story, which I haven't felt in a very long time. In addition to that, I did bring this book to my mom already, and I was like, Mom, you'll never guess, but I'm actually enjoying this book. And she's like, wow, really? I remember every time we talk about ACOTAR, you're like, it was mid. I'm like, yeah, this isn't that mid right now for me, though it's kind of still typical fantasy. It's not at the same time, I guess. It could totally just be because of the time in my life that I'm reading it at, too. If I read this a year and a half ago, I might feel entirely different, but who the heck knows? Certainly not me. I have decided since coming back to reading a whole whopping 2 weeks ago that whatever I want to rate a book is what it's going to be rated in that moment. Screw the overall timeline. I can't remember. If a year and a half ago would be like, this is terrible, it says mid, I just want to be done. Okay, fine. Me right now, loving it. Absolutely devouring it. Anyways, it is currently 11:39 at night, and I have no responsibilities tomorrow, and I'm wired, absolutely wide awake, and all that I want to do is read this book. So I'm gonna go continue to read A Court of Mist and Fury. I don't know if I will check in with you at any point in my reading tonight, unless obviously something crazy happens. I don't know exactly what we're gonna get up to in here, but I will for sure talk to you at least tomorrow morning, unless I finish part 2 tonight. But part 2 was 350 pages in total, so I don't think I'm gonna do that. But I do want to make a lot of progress. So without a further ado, I'm gonna jump back into Agamoth, and we are gonna have a time. I'm gonna go have a time, and I'm really excited about this. We're reading Akamoth. A lot of time has passed. It is the next evening. I think it's currently 4:35 o'clock. 4:44. It's 4:44. God. It is 4:44. My next chapter is chapter 36, which is page number 346. I believe the last time we actually talked about this book, I was somewhere. I honestly could not tell you. I know today I started at chapter 25, so I've read at least 10 chapters today, but I think I started at chapter 15. Anyway, it's been a really long time since we've talked. My girl went to the weaver and got the ring and gave it back to the dude. Mr. Rhysand. I am convinced that he got that ring to propose to her at some point in the series. I was right about the necklace. It held absolutely no power. She just needed something to believe in. My queen, Miss Anth. Powerful non-wizard. What is her name? Amryn. We went to human land. I still hate Nessa. Nothing much to say on that front. Other than Rhysand had a really bad moment of using her as bait for the thing. What was that thing? For whatever reason, my brain thinks he's a worm, but I don't think he's a worm. The adder. ATTOR. The adder. Rhysand's kind of a little bit of a dingus for making her be bait without her realizing, but I'll let it go. I will let that man do devious things because of the way that he talks to and about her. Absolutely devious things. Anyways, that happened, and we are now in the summer court, and Miss Feyre found where the first half of the book is, in that weird little tiny castle in the water. And I have a feeling the next thing we're going to be reading is them getting it out of the water and taking the book. But I really don't have any, like, important thoughts to talk about other than the fact that I love Rhysand, and I love Feyre, and I want them to be together. That little bit of banter that they are getting back and that they had about the fact that Feyre was flirting with the summer court king to try to get that book and find out where it was. Oh, phenomenal. Oh, phenomenal. I love jealous Rhysand, and I love jealous Feyre because Mr. Rhysand was flirting with the princess. Yes, I'm here for it. Y'all feel that? Now kiss. Now kiss. I have absolutely nothing bad to say about the fact that we got some training scenes for Feyre, both in hand-to-hand combat and then her magical powers as well. I think that was needed, and I appreciate that it's not a 300-page training arc, and it was only like 20 in 2 separate places of the book. I really appreciated that. Also appreciated the breath of fresh air with the night on the town. I am just loving this, and I'm loving the pacing, and honestly, I think I'm gonna finish this book tonight. I really think I'm going to. It is just so good, and I'm officially hooked to the point where I just want to read. But again, it's not in the same sense as when I was reading Nightbane a couple weeks ago, and I was like, I just want to know what happens, like I'm ready. No, I'm not really like that this time. I want to keep reading and I want to know what happens, but the urge to read is because I just want to be with the characters. It's not an urge to finish the book, it's an urge to continue the book, which I promise you it feels different even if it doesn't sound different. But I'm gonna go continue reading A Court of Mist and Fury. I believe I only have, gosh, what is it, like 15 or 16 chapters left of part 2. Chapter 51 is the last chapter of part 2, and then we get to part 3, and I'm on chapter 36. What's 51 minus 36? That would be a 4. That would be an 11. 51, 36. 11, that's 5. 15. Yeah, so I have 15 chapters left until we get to part 3, and unless something crazy happens, I think I'm just gonna go finish part 2 right now, and then we'll check in before part 3. All that to say, I am loving A Court of Mist and Fury. I am loving it so much more than I was ACOTAR. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm gonna go dive back in. What did I just read? I don't know why, but I feel like I'm gonna cry. And the ending of part 2 wasn't even that freaking sad, bro. It wasn't even that sad. Neither was any of the, 100 pages I just read? What's wrong with me? Okay, let's back up. Last time we talked was actually yesterday afternoon, and I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna finish this entire book today. I did not. clearly. I got this feeling from it that I just needed to take a break. Not that the book was boring or anything like that. I just needed to step away from the world for a second, so I took the time to do that. Whether it was because I needed more mental preparation to finish the book, more time and mental preparation to finish the book, or I just needed to put a pause because I love the world and don't want to leave it, whatever it may be. This evening at like 3:34 p.m. and it's now 10. Oh, it was definitely later than that. It had to be more like 6 or 7. I swear to you that wasn't supposed to be a 6-7 joke. But literally have only been reading this for like 3 hours or something like that, on and off, because I've been doing other stuff as well. And I finished part 2. Crazy things I can remember that have happened was that really cute like Starlight Festival thing. Not a festival. Those stars came. I cackled when they both got hit in the faces with those star creatures. That was hilarious. Very cool that Feyre can now shapeshift. I didn't really understand what was happening in that scene and thought it was Rhysand and his power before I realized that it was her. Speaking of which, Lucian? That bitch is back! I knew the Spring Court was gonna do some evil type shit eventually, but I did not think that it would be that soon. Are you kidding me? It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I also cannot comprehend the fact that Rhysand and Feyre finally admitted they have freaking emotions for each other. Maybe that's why I'm crying. I'm very attached. I'm very attached to the relationship. Not even like the characters, obviously, but mostly the relationship. I'm very attached to the relationship. And then obviously where we left off of Miss Feyre being in this dark, stormy castle away from Rhysand because he didn't tell her that she was his mate. That's why you're pissed, girl. Do you know what I would do if I found out? Let me tell you, I wouldn't be pissed no more. I wouldn't be pissed. And honestly, I could have told you that from the start of the book. From the second we mentioned that Feyre was like, I don't feel the mate bond with Tamlin, but it'll probably come after the wedding. Girl, you and I both know you're mated to the dark brooding King Knight over there. Go get your man. I don't think I ever mentioned that though, because it genuinely seems so obvious to me that I didn't think I needed to voice the opinion on it, and I don't care. I don't even care if it's a cliche. I don't even care if it's a cliche in this fantasy drama. I am thoroughly enjoying myself. I have also yet to shut up about this series to my mom, and all I've been saying to her is it's so good, you need to read it. And she literally is like so confused by me because I read the first one, I didn't like it. We've had this conversation too. I don't know. I don't know if it's because I haven't read like a fantasy book in like, oh my gosh, probably a year at this point that I can remember. But this is just hitting the goddamn the marks, bro. God, I love this so much. That being said, I only have part 3, which is House of Mist, left to read. Get it. Which I kid you not is only like 120 pages. And I am 100% going to finish it tonight, and I mean that for realsies this time. Like, I can't stop right now. Are you kidding me? I can't stop now, and I'm gonna start, and it's probably gonna have a crazy pace that I'm just gonna need to read, you know? Unless, like, I get this giant wave of tired, but I don't think that's going to happen. I just want to keep reading. I want to find out what happens, and I know, I have a feeling this book is gonna end in a cliffhanger, because only 120 pages left. Something's gonna happen, and I'm not gonna like it. Something's gonna happen and I'm not gonna like it. I don't know what that is. I really have no idea. Oh, I also didn't talk about the fact that Rhysand got captured. But that was adorable. Because Feyre found out about the whole bond mate thing. Anyways, moving on. Like literally that is so tiny and minuscule in my brain compared to everything else that I don't even care. I don't even care. If I had to guess what I think this cliffhanger is going to be, it's going to be them getting separated, Rhysand and Feyre, in some regard. I don't think that evil High Fae, I don't think he's Fae, that evil king from Hybrid, the H Island, I don't think he's going to attack in this book. I don't think so. Because there's 2 giant books left and a novella. But I'm not counting the novella. There's 2 giant books left, and I don't think the war is going to last 1,000+ pages. It doesn't make sense. Not that there can't be anything that happens after that war, but typically in fantasies, the war happens, and then we get like 100 pages of wrap up, and that's about it. You know? So with all that being said, I'm going to go finish A Court of Mist and Fury. I cannot believe I read a 627-page fantasy novel in a week. Who am I? Literally, who am I? Okay. Ooh. So I clearly needed some emotional, physical, mental processing time because it is the next evening after work, and I'm finally sitting down to talk about A Court of Mist and Fury as the finale. I was absolutely losing my gosh dang marbles at the end. The entire part 3 of the book, so much happens to the point where in those last 5 or 6 chapters I felt overwhelmed. And I was up until 2 o'clock in the morning reading this book. Didn't even realize I was wired and couldn't go to sleep for a while because of this ending on the cliffhanger that it does. Every single time I pick up something to talk about a book, I have to be like, don't say what it is. I can say what it is. Feyre, I was right. Feyre and Rhysand are separated again. And worst part is Feyre is with Tamlin. Tamlin is such a little bitch. I am so sorry I ever said that I liked him as a character, as a partner for her. I'm gonna take that back right now, right this second. Mr. Tamlin, I'm sorry. No, I'm not. You suck. Get better. Also hate the queens, but I never really liked them in the first place. They always seem kind of like teenagers to me. They literally act like kids who are in 8th grade and don't know how to emotionally regulate. Just saying. So they suck. Tamlin sucks. Lucian sucks. I hate that Lucian is now the soulmate or mate of Elaine, Feyre's younger sister. It doesn't make sense. Not that I think the mating bond thing really makes sense in any form, but I don't know why we did that. I have a feeling it's going to play a really big part in the next book, but it kind of felt like it was just tacked on there at the end. Like it didn't really need to happen. I'm so glad that Feyre and Rhysand's mating bond was not broken. I didn't think you could break them. I'm glad that they just broke the whole deal situation. I am so incredibly in love with the fact that they love each other now. And I also love that Amren yelled at Rhysand to go get Feyre when she was stuck with Tamlin and had to leave again. Oh, so glad. So glad. And so proud of Feyre for realizing what was happening and was being okay with going back with Tamlin, even though he's a little bitch. Once again, I'm so sorry I ever said that I liked Tamlin. I was wrong. So incredibly wrong. But this 627-page fantasy novel has been in my mind all day. This is all I've been thinking about. I'm not even kidding. I cannot believe it held my interest as much as it did. As long as it did. I cannot believe I read this in a week. Truly mind-boggling to me. Especially with the fact that I'm coming off a reading slump. I thought that this would take me 2 weeks, but at this rate, depending on how fast I can read books for my next reading vlog, this might come out before that one, because it was going to be flipped, because I thought this was going to take me a long time. I thought I was going to have to stop every 200, 300 pages or so to take a break, like a mental break from the book, because of how much I didn't like it. But I flew through this thing, absolutely flew. If you can't tell, I really like A Court of Mist and Fury, and I ended up rating it 4 out of 5 stars. The reason I didn't give it 4.5 or a 5 is that it just didn't feel right to me, but a 4 100% felt okay. I am pretty sure ACOTAR, the first book in the series, got a 3.5 out of 5 stars from me, so 4 does make sense. There's really only 2 places in this book where I feel like the pacing was a little bit weird. The absolute ending where everything was happening in the span of 6 chapters, and then the pacing of Rhysand telling Feyre about everything that went on while he knew about the mating bond. Like, it was information I needed, but it was just like a really long monologue. I don't do well with long monologues though, so maybe that's just a me thing. Nonetheless, I absolutely loved A Court of Mist and Fury, and I am so excited to pick up the next book. What is it? A Court of Wings and Ruin? I don't know. Either way, I'm there. But with that, we have reached the end of our time here together today. I had a whole bunch of fun diving back into the world of ACOTAR, and I hope that you had a good time watching me absolutely lose my mind. Until next Wednesday when we have another reading adventure, I hope that your guys' book worlds are treating you just as well as mine treat me. Please make sure to stay safe, happy, and healthy until then. Toodles!